Adish, you let me know, right, when I can start?
We are live now.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Smita from Wipro Enterprises. And at the onset, I would like to extend my warm congratulations to the newly qualified chartered accountants. Very well done, guys. On behalf of Wipro Enterprises and Mittal Commerce Classes, I welcome you to the pre-placement talk today for our Global Finance Leaders Program at Wipro Enterprises. We have with us today Sachin Bansal, CFO of Wipro Global Hydraulics. Sachin is a chartered accountant with 15 years of post-qualification experience of handling multiple finance roles in manufacturing industries. For giving us an insight into the GFL program, we have with us Naren Nair, who serves as a program coach for the GFL program at Wipro Enterprises. We also have a very important person who will share her experiences with you as a GFL, Sujot Kaur. Sujot joined us from campus about 1.5 years back into the GFL program. So we'll start with the session now. And during this meeting, we request everyone to be on mute. We'll be taking the questions at the end of the talk. I request Sachin to give us an overview of Wipro Enterprises. Thank you.
Thanks, Smita. Thank you so much for the nice welcome. And good afternoon, everyone. First of all, congratulations to all the newly qualified chartered accountants and also to the entire MCC team for the wonderful record-breaking results year over year. I think you people deserve a big round of applause. Many congratulations to the entire team. In my presentation, I will try to cover the brief about Wipro and more about the Wipro Enterprises, where we belongs to, and about its businesses, and as a finance, what we really contribute to the business. So let me start with that. See, Wipro is an organization which started in 1945. We started our business as a Vanaspati oil manufacturer. And from there, in the last 75 years, Wipro has grown multifold. Today, we have presence into IT, we are into consumer care, we are into hydraulics, we are into infrastructure engineering, we are into automation. So from a small organization, today Wipro has become a multi-billion-dollar organization and a very well-known organization across the world. Today, Wipro is having a revenue size of close to $10 billion and employee base of almost 2 lakh employees. While Wipro is known for its IT business currently, but it will be interesting to know that much before the IT, Wipro is having a significant presence into the manufacturing sector. And we are leader in many of those segments. All these businesses till very recently used to be part of the same entity called Wipro Limited. But for a strategic reason, we have moved out all this manufacturing business into a separate entity called Wipro Enterprises. So currently, the IT businesses are part of organization called Wipro Limited, and the manufacturing businesses, so-called non-IT businesses, are part of Wipro Enterprises. So for the Wipro Enterprises, our revenue is close to $1.5 billion currently, and we have employees base of 12,000 plus employees, and we are fairly a global organization. We have presence in 22 nations, and we have 31 manufacturing facilities across the world. So fairly a big organization. Wipro Enterprises Limited, and we call it WEL, is not a one business. I would say it is a conglomerate of multiple businesses, fairly well diversified into multiple industries, multiple segments, counter-cyclical segment by choice and by design, and a fairly global organization, and a very promising plan and the growth plan for the future. Our businesses at Wipro Enterprises are largely we bifurcate into two divisions. One is consumer care and lighting. We call it CCLG division, which is primarily into personal care, home care products, lighting, switches, office furniture. And we have infrastructure engineering business where we call it WIN, Wipro Infrastructure Engineering, where we have presence into hydraulics, aerospace, additive manufacturing, automation solution, water treatment. Apart from these two divisions, we have two large joint ventures. One is Wipro Kawasaki, where we have joint venture with Kawasaki Japan, where we are leader into hydraulics pump manufacturing for excavator segment. And we also have one joint venture with GE, called Wipro GE Healthcare, where we are the leading player in healthcare equipment and the solution provider. We have presence in 80 plus countries and 12,000 employees. Interesting to know that 59% of our employees are women. So we are completely gender neutral organization, I would say. Most of our businesses are well matured and we are holding the leadership position. But some of the businesses are at a very, I would say, the entrant stage, but with a very promising plan for the coming years. We keep diversifying ourselves based on the opportunity available in the market. We believe in ahead of the curve investment into the technology, into the process, into the industry. And keeping that in mind, we have one team, we call them WEL Venture. They focus on investment into the startup, which can be strategic to our business over a period of time. We guide them, we invest money, and over a period of time when they are able to mature and it makes a synergy, we integrate them with us. So that is the strategy we follow in Wipro Enterprises. These are the value system for Wipro. These are some of the, we call it spirit of Wipro. Be passionate about client success. Treat each person with respect. Be global and responsible. And unyielding integrity in everything we do. So these are the 4 core values in Wipro, what we follow, and we just live with it. There is absolutely no compromise on this part. Our visions are very clear, and our policies, or I would say our value system, is very well articulated. So it makes us the decision making much more faster. There is really no ambiguity in that part. Let me also tell you on this integrity, we have a zero tolerance policy on any integrity related issue. While it comes from the performance, you will get complete support from the team. But once it comes to the integrity, there is absolutely zero tolerance. Just to give an example, you make a loss of $1 million, you make a business call and which results into $1 million loss. It is absolutely fine as long as you have applied a fair amount of diligence while taking the decision. But even 100 rupees of false claim in your travel bill or any other reimbursement bill might land you in the separation from the job. So that kind of policy we follow, where there is absolutely no tolerance on the integrity side. Moving to the more detail about the Wipro Consumer Care and Lighting, which is called CCLG Group. We have our products marketed into more than 60 countries. We have 35 plus leading brands. More than half of our revenue comes from outside India. So fairly overseas, fairly international organization, global organization. We have presence into 18 countries, 16 manufacturing facilities, and 8 R&D centers. These are some of the brands of Wipro Consumer Care. Santur, Chandrika, Safe Wash are the large brands in India. Even Yardley, for that matter, is a global brand. And we have significant presence in India, Southeast Asia, China, UK, and Africa. So as I mentioned, more than half of the revenue comes from overseas, and it's a fairly a global organization. Moving to Wipro Infrastructure Engineering, we have 40 plus years of manufacturing excellence. So this is the business which was the first diversification for Wipro after the Vanaspati and the consumer care products in 1976, much before the IT. We entered into IT somewhere in 1980s. So this was the business we started in 1976. We have close to 2,300 employees, 16 best manufacturing facilities across the world, and a global presence. Our products goes into multiple segments. We supply to construction equipment, we supply to earth moving equipment, material and cargo handling, forestry, farm and agriculture, mining, trucks. We are into aerospace, we are into additive manufacturing, wastewater treatment. So we make close to a million plus cylinders every year. So we are one of the largest independent cylinder manufacturer in the world. Our focus is on the quality, cost, and delivery. And we have one of the best state-of-the-art manufacturing facilities across the globe. Coming to finance function, we play multiple roles into the business, starting from the business finance, where we work very closely with the business team. We are into controllership, the team which ensures consolidation, reporting, assurance, and shared services. We are into we have the internal audit, a strong internal audit team who ensures the independent assurance and the process audit. We have a treasury team who optimize the investment and the cash management. We have very efficient tax planning team who manages the tax and the compliance part of it. And we have a strong legal and the secretarial team. There are multiple roles in finance within Wipro. Let me tell you, once you join Wipro, there are multiple roles within the finance function. And we believe, as an organization, we believe in job rotation. That is the way the person gets better understanding of the different part of the organization and better understanding of the process and gets a much faster career path. So we believe in a job rotation time to time. And since there are multiple businesses, multiple geographies, multiple roles, it becomes much more easier for us to give that job rotation much faster than anybody can expect. So that is how we drive the growth in the function. Let me also add here, we are not the support function. Finance is not seen like a support function in Wipro. We are very much part of the main function in Wipro. So our roles and responsibilities, our deliverables are very much aligned to what any business heads are carrying. Over a period, we are able to add that value where finance is not seen just like a support function, doing the accounting and reporting the numbers. We do the value add much beyond all this regular accounting and the reporting activities. So all the best, and that's it from my side on the about the Wipro Enterprises. All the best for the future, and with that, I hand over the presentation back to Smita. Thank you.
Thanks, Sachin. Thank you so much. Actually, from Wipro Enterprises, we have Ishita Ganguly, who has joined the session. Ishita is the Group HR Manager, Consumer Care and Lighting. Oh, I'm sorry. Actually, I think I was on mute. I'm so sorry. Thank you, Sachin. I'm so sorry. Thank you, Sachin. We have actually Ishita, who has joined from the session. Ishita is a Group HR Manager from Consumer Care and Lighting Division of Wipro Enterprises. She has done an MBA from XLRI Jamshedpur and has over 17 years of experience in HR. Now, I request Naren to take us through the GFL program.
Sure. Thank you, Smita. So once again, congratulations from my side to all the GFL aspirants and the people who have passed the chartered accountancy and qualified this year. Very well done. And I'll just start with giving you an overview of what the program is about. And let me just start sharing my screen first. Okay. There you go. Yeah. So when we, this is a program where we identify, future leaders and nurture future leaders. And when we want to do something like that, the thought that comes in our mind is that what do we do when we take fresh chartered accountants from campus, and how do we take them and mold them to become really take up really higher responsibilities and early on in their career. This is the question that we had, which we were trying to answer, and the answer which we came up with was this program that we're talking about. So before I start, I'll just tell you what this program is about. We take people from campus, we put them through 2 years of training and mentoring and coaching through the 2 years. They're also put into full-time jobs. So the full-time jobs that you guys will be put into are in controllership, internal audit, treasury, tax, business finance, and projects, to name a few. But depending upon the business requirements, there might be shifts, might be one or two departments added or subtracted from here. So the first thing that you will see is that when you are onboarded, you'll be assigned to a particular department like that, and you will be told what exactly you would be doing there, and with the goals and objectives clearly defined. Now, once you're into the program, we start off with the different modules that we talk about. One is the finance, life skills, data analytics, and business. These are the 4 pillars of the whole program. In finance, let's say that you are coming into this role, and you have some idea of mergers and acquisition or valuation, which you would have studied both from a bookish point of view, or you would have done some problem solving there. But what happens in real life is very different. What we try to teach you is through case studies from the real life acquisitions and mergers that we would have done, and valuations, project valuations that we would have done. Prepare a case study around these real life experiences that we have, and then ask you to solve the case study. But before we do that, asking you to solve the case study, what we do is that we have a faculty who would come and speak to you and give you a refresher course on these topics. For example, after a few months, you might get rusty on, let's say, dividend discount model, or which is also known as Gordon model, or things or other concepts. You wouldn't remember everything, right? So we organize a refresher session. The refresher session is typically addressed, the person who addresses a refresher session is somebody who's a very seasoned professional who has done acquisitions on their own, and they have been part of various bodies, and also a very strong pedigree. So the last session that we had one of the speakers who was an author, and the one before that we had somebody who was an ex-Goldman Sachs chartered accountant, rank holder chartered accountant, and London School of Economics alumni, and so on. So that's the typical profile of the people we try to get there. We cover different aspects: valuation, M&A, business accounting, international finance, and nuances of taxation. What we try to cover here again is something beyond what you would have learned in your classes for your CA curriculum. So finance, it puts you through, it gives you an experience of what a CXO or a CFO or a senior finance professional goes through when they are doing a valuation for an acquisition. And similarly, what does the controller what is the experience that the controller gets when they are doing accounting for the acquisition that has been done? And similarly, when a treasurer has to do hedging, what are the considerations that the treasurer has to keep in mind, and how is the accounting for that done in taking real life examples? So that's broadly what the finance part is about. You are chartered accountants, that's your qualification, and that's what your bent of mind is also. But to be a truly successful professional, it's not just enough to be a chartered accountant. In fact, Sachin would tell you that a lot of his work would also be doing with not just chartered accountant related work or accounting related work, but something that's to do with problem solving, people management, presentation, executive communication. So these are the kind of things that we think are very important for you to become to have a holistic development for each one of you. So in life skills sessions, we have included a few topics there where we take you through how do you look at a problem. And not just how do you look at a problem, how does Sherlock Holmes look at a problem? How does Sherlock Holmes approach a problem solving? And then take examples from that and bring it back to real life scenario and show you how these problem solving lessons can be applied. Similarly, design thinking, which is again a very, very important aspect that's coming up today. presentation skills. How do you make presentations that look really very classy and is succinct? Executive communication, how do you communicate to the top management in a few words and have very impactful communication? The third tower is data analytics. Now, technology is permeating every aspect of our lives. Finance people are no different. Now, many of the jobs that we do today are going to get automated. And we want to make sure that the people whom we hire are insulated, not just insulated, but also prepared for the new role that can come in. So if you have to, as a finance professional, if you have to learn, let's say, business intelligence or even programming or data analytics, this is a program that will take you through all those aspects as well. So up till now, finance, life skills, and data analytics, these are somewhat technical and more of soft skill in nature. We tie it up with the business skills that you would need. And for that, what we do also is, apart from organizing factory visits, we would also have, let's say, a person from sales coming and talking to you about how FMCG sales works. How does a soap that you pick up from the supermarket, how does it reach there from the plant? So similarly, various aspects of marketing, production planning, and so on, supply chain management, and so on. These are the aspects that we would cover there. And why is this interesting in this context is that because at Wipro Enterprises, our business is really very varied. We have made equipment. So we have a practice called additive manufacturing, which is basically 3D printing, but 3D printing not plastics but metal. And we manufacture high precision components. And one of the satellites that was launched by India recently had a component which was 3D printed by Wipro Enterprises. So that's one part of the business. On the other end of the spectrum, you have also the soaps and consumer care division. Then you have furniture. So the variety of the businesses that we are in is very interesting. That gives us a very good base, from which you can learn how different businesses work. And really, these are things that you can touch and feel. When you say supply chain management, or a part of it which could be freight management or procurement management, these are things that you can touch and feel and see. Because to make soap, we need to have oil, we need to have different chemicals and perfumes and so on. So how does the procurement of that work? How does the planning of that procurement work? How does the production planning work? So all these things, we try to give you an insight into that through the business session. So broadly, this is what the program is about. Now, if you package everything together, you are working full-time job. You are also put through the sessions that are there, covering these aspects. So all these combine together and give you an experience that if you do this for 2 years, your experience would be something like a 3 year or 4 years or 5 years, even depending upon the efforts that you put in. So that's the goal of it, and that's what we want to try to achieve with this whole program. Quickly, I'll come back to selection process and compensation. But before I begin with the selection process, I just want to leave one thought with you, those of you who are even thinking of applying or wanting to join us. So this is a company which is rooted in a certain set of culture, and the idea of coming for pre-placement, for a placement, or selecting, is not to figure out who is good and who is bad amongst you. We strongly believe that all of you are good. The question here is that, would you fit into our organization? Would you have the right aptitude, attitude, and the mindset to fit into our organization? That is the question we are trying to answer. It is not a judgment of whether you're good or bad. The fact that you are good has already been told by ICAI very clearly by qualifying US professionals. So coming to that, I would want to talk about the culture of the company. We believe in hard work. We have a 6-day work, very clearly. We have a 6-day work, and we don't have work from home. We work from office. So, and hard work as well. So why is this? Why is hard work important? Because when you think of it, finance or HR or any other functions such as these are the center of this, or the keystone of the entire company is the business. If the business is there, finance exists. If business is not there, finance doesn't exist. So that is why all our decisions, everything revolves around business. And we have factories that work 6 days a week. So we work 6 days a week. So that's one thing. And it's not something where you can come in and, you'll have a very rosy path where you just come in, and flowers are thrown at you when you come in. That's not how it happens. We are a company which has a very modest culture in terms of, we're very modest in the way we conduct ourselves. So if you come here and if you visit our offices there, and let's say you are in the canteens, now the canteen is closed because of the pandemic, but at least the one that is very nearby. But I have seen that the CEO of Wipro Consumer Care, who is the brainchild behind Santur brand, standing patiently behind me in the queue with his plate, waiting for the lunch. And that's the culture. The CEO doesn't go with an entourage. And humility and being humble is a part of the culture, and that's what you will see across Wipro. We're not a very flashy organization, so when you come in, we don't have parties in 5-star hotels or pubs, or we don't have a beer day or anything of that sort. We believe if you're coming here, be prepared to put in hard work, be prepared to put in, give your not 100%, more than 100%. The return for this is that tomorrow's career, when you're thinking of a career for you tomorrow, you have a path that is set up for you for future in that way. And I can vouch for that. I joined Wipro 22 years back in 98, and I was there with Wipro. Now I'm working as a consultant for Wipro, and it has given me opportunities unbelievable. And for me, I joined I'm not a chartered accountant by qualification. I am an engineer by qualification. I joined Wipro as a programmer. I moved across different functions. And the last 10 years of my career, I was in finance. When I moved out of Wipro and started to work as a consultant, I was heading the order to cash function and order to cash revenue and accounts receivable functions at Wipro Limited. So the same culture exists in Wipro Enterprises also. That's my personal experience. But when you come in here, we are looking for people who would want to make a career here. So if you're asking for a role, job description, and so on, I think we are not a job description role kind of a company. We are somebody who look at you from a career point of view. So if you come in today, where will you be 10 years from now, 5 years from now? That is what we want to worry about. Or to put in another words, this is not a 2-minute Maggi noodles that you make. This is not a 2-minute noodles that you make. This is something where you have to really put in effort. There's something like dal bukhara. You have to spend effort there. You have to spend time there. You have to let it cook for quite some time. So that's how careers are made. Instant gratification doesn't work in our case. So with that as a background, I just want you to know, because before you apply and you want to come here, I just want you to know about the company and the culture of the company. First, you have the registration link. If you don't have the registration link, send a mail to well.gfl@wipro.com. One of my colleagues will just put it on the YouTube live here, or we have the brochure also. In case you don't have it, just keep a note of it. wel.gfl@wipro.com. Just put a mail to that requesting for a brochure. We will send you the brochure. The written test is going to be online, and you will need to do it from a laptop or a desktop. You should have your webcam and microphone enabled. This would be proctored using a tool that we are using. And the test will be on 18th of February at 10:30 a.m. Post the written test, we will have a group discussion round. In the group discussion round, you'll be given a certain topic to speak about. You'll be given in advance, and a few minutes in advance, you have to structure your thoughts and then speak about the topic for 2 minutes. And after everybody has spoken, you'll have to summarize it at the end. You're given 1 minute to summarize your point of view. So we have the group discussion round, post which we have the technical round of personal interview and HR round of personal interview. Now, in both these things, we have not decided whether it will be a face-to-face interview or a virtual interview. We cross the bridge when we come to it. But right now, the interviews, if it is happening face to face, we will give you enough time to come to our premises to attend the personal interview. If you qualify from there, you get an offer letter, and then you're given about 15 to 20 days to join us. So that's the process that we have for selection round. The compensation is going to be 10 lakhs per annum. That's inclusive of 10% of variable pay. Posting locations, we would want you to be flexible, because if you have to learn, you cannot sit only in one place and learn. Because if you have traveled, you will see that when you move from one place to another, the learning just opens up. For you, the more opportunities open up for you when you travel and see how things work. So the same thing works here. We might put you in our branches across India. We might put you in our plant or factories across India, and also in the head office. So be flexible from that point of view. This is broadly what I wanted to talk about: the selection process, compensation, and the posting locations. We will come back to the questions at the end of it, and I'm seeing on YouTube Live there are questions that are already coming, and I'll just take time to answer that. But before we go ahead and answer the questions, I have a very important person, Sujot Kaur. Sujot joined us 1.5 years back, as Smita would have told you sometime back in the meeting. She joined us as a GFL, and we would want her to share her experience with you today. Over to you, Sujot, and please do share your experience with the folks here, and tell them what you went through as a GFL. What were the goods? What were the not so good experiences that you had? Just give a very honest and fair assessment of the program. Thank you. Over to you, Sujot.
Thanks, Naren. So good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. I hope everyone's safe. I'm Sujot. I've been part of the GFL program for about 2 years now. So if I had to talk about my experience in the GFL, I think the first and the foremost thing that comes to my mind is it's a very diverse, very intense program. My batchmates, for instance, are spread across internal audit, taxation, treasury, business finance. We're in different functions, different businesses, sometimes even different geographies. So if all of us come together for a training, the kind of discussions we have are so diverse. But the underlying feature of all of our experiences is that it's very intense, it's very learning driven. There's a lot of learning that's happening. So the cornerstone of the GFL program is that there is a lot of exposure, and there's a lot of profiles that you get to learn from. The second thing that I think Naren and Sachin brought out, and I would want to reiterate, is I think Wipro takes pride in taking bets on people, in giving people opportunities, and so if they're up for the challenge. For instance, in my case, when I came in, like the first profile I handled, the person before me had about 5 years of experience. So you just sort of go in and you deliver. So it really takes pride and takes bets on people. The other thing that the GFL program offers you is that you're at the front end. So you get to be part of senior management discussions. You get to work very closely with the CFOs or with your business heads or your functional heads. You get to be in the midst of all the really meaty and the really intense decision making. So, for instance, I've had to kind of close numbers with my business heads. It's very you get to learn a lot from these close interactions. And as Sachin brought out, the finance function is so diverse, and there are so many profiles and opportunities that you get. You're basically the touch point for different functions. So I am part of the business finance team in consumer care, and I've had, as part of my profile, I've had to interact and work with the marketing team and the supply chain and the sales, department and the HR department. And basically, you're the touch point for every department. You're this, a lot of data, IT dependency. So there is a lot of learning that you get when you're in the front end and you're part of the GFL program. So if I the point that Sachin raised that I would also agree with is that I think we're a very value driven company. I think we very strongly believe in being in integrity, in we're very passionate about delivering business outcomes. We take a lot of ownership for the work that we do, and we really get involved, get deep, and deliver with heart. So if you come and join the GFL program, I can guarantee you that you will have a lot of exposure, you will have a lot of learning, you will have a lot of experiences by the end of it. But most importantly, I think you will learn a lot, and this becomes a wonderful foundation for you to kind of grow and build a career on this. So I've had a fantastic 2 years. I only remember working, but I remember enjoying it a lot. So yeah, that's it for me, Naren. Is there anything else?
No, Sujot, thank you so much, Sujot, for sharing your insights. What we will do is that we will take the questions, start taking the questions, and go one by one. I can see already on YouTube Live quite a few questions that are coming. We have one question which Divyanshi Agarwal is saying: is it not for freshers or for CFA aspirants? This is a program that is for people who have qualified just now. The freshly qualified chartered accountants who gave the exam in November and who have the results came out in February 1st. So this is for that that group of people. So in case you are qualified before, then you would not be eligible for this. It's only for that batch. So that's one. On the YouTube Live, there is another question. What is the Tanya Pandey is asking, what is GFL? So I thought we explained the program. The GFL program is where we take you from campus and we give you the best of the worlds. Take a chartered accountant and give them master classes and also sessions related to finance and life skills and business and data analytics, such that you become there's a holistic development for you as a professional. So you're not just a finance professional, you are something much more than that. Why do we do that? We do that so that you can take up leadership roles in future. So for example, if you see my colleague who was there, Sachin Bansal, who is the CFO for Wipro Hydraulics, his role would involve speaking to the CEO of the company. And that is something the CEO might not be interested in just knowing the financials alone, but there'll be a lot of other aspects also. So how do you communicate your concepts in a succinct way to somebody who is not really a finance expert? Because there might be a tax implication, but for a particular transaction, he would need to communicate it in a very succinct manner. Similarly, when you have to make a presentation to the board, how do you make the presentation in such a way that it brings out the right elements of what you want to speak about? Now, this is much more complex than just putting a curriculum and taking you through that. So that's why we have the program like this. So think of it that if you have this program, it prepares you for a much more stronger career in future. So that's what the program is about. And if you would want to know more about the program, I'll just leave the link with you here at the bottom. You can just you can contact MCC JPR also for more details, but you can write to us at well.gfl@wipro.com. Vanchita Gupta is asking, is it different from the cohorts program? Yes, it is different from the cohorts program. Cohorts program is Wipro Limited's leadership program. This is from Wipro Enterprises Limited, private limited. So Wipro Enterprises is the FMCG and Infrastructure Engineering business company. It is a different company. The experience you have will be very different, whereas the experience you will have in cohorts will be very different. The online test syllabus for the online test is going to be purely based on aptitude. Why do we want to do that? Because when you, let's say when you're reading a contract, how are you able to interpret and join the dots? Are you able to get what is the essence of the contract? What is the impact of it? If we take a decision, what would be the impacts, potential impacts to the company? Can you understand that? So while we are not expecting you to know contract in detail, because these are not really taught, this is something that you have to learn by experience. We are planning to test that. So it will be predominantly based on aptitude and verbal reasoning. So reasoning, aptitude, and verbal. So do you rehire after 2 years? What will be the process for that? No, the program is, so though the program is for 2 years, it doesn't mean that after 2 years you are let off. Obviously not. After that, you become a part of Wipro Enterprises Private Limited anyway. See, it's a full-time job. But for the first 2 years, it's a formative year for us. Why do that? The reason why we do that the first 2 years is because when a professional comes fresh from campus, that's the time when you are worried about what kind of a future would I have. So initially itself, if we can mold you, give you the right direction, give you the right guidance and all that, then you can become a very successful professional. So the first 2 years is where we put intense amount of effort to make you successful and prepare you for a great career ahead. That is the reason why we have this program. After the 2 years, you graduate out of the program. There will be felicitations and all that, and then you are deployed in different functions in Wipro Enterprises. So I'll just take some of the previous questions also. Neha, can you just drop Neha Singhal has asked this question, that link for the test that is going to be held on February 18th, please. Just write a note to us at WEL, please. So Neha, please write to us. I'm just typing in the answers on YouTube Live as well to us at well.gfl@wipro.com. We'll reply to you immediately with the details. We'll send you the brochure which talks about the program in a little bit more detail, and there's a link also where you can click and register yourself. What would be the basis of test? I have covered already, and I see that Adesh has also written that. I've covered the. I'm sorry, in the attempts part, we have a rule for that, and so the rule is that up to 3 attempts, both groups put together. So I'm really sorry for that. That's the eligibility criteria that we have. Anandita, yes, it is restricted to CAs who have cleared in 3 attempts max, both groups, 3 attempts max, in final, both groups put together.
Naren, Vishal wants to know how the GD will be conducted, whether it will be virtual.
It will be virtual. The group discussion will be virtual. As I said earlier on, the group discussion will be virtual, but the personal interview, we'll take a call on it in some time.
And quite a few want to know whether they have applied for the cohorts, can they apply for the GFL?
Yes, if you have applied for the cohorts program, you can absolutely apply for the GFL program as well. There is no problem. There are 2 different programs and by 2 different companies in that sense. As Sachin took you through the initial PPT, this is still part of the Wipro group as such, but there are 2 different companies altogether and 2 different programs. So you can definitely apply for the cohorts program as well. And for the GFL program, both of the programs, you can apply for them. So how many people complete 2 years? We measure success not from that perspective. So we started the GFL program sometime back, 1.5 years back. Now, this is the first batch of GFLs that are going to graduate this year. So amongst that, we have a very tightly knit community there. But the way we measure success is not by how many complete the program, don't complete the program, or that. This is like a program which challenges you. So it might not be meant for everybody. So if you are not up to putting in really, really hard work, and Sujot can back me up on that, then don't even consider applying, because it'll be a waste of your time and our time as well. So this requires a lot of investment. See, if you really think of what is going to be, what is going to come in the future, 30, 40 years back, you could take a chartered accountant and put them in a corporate scenario very easily, and without too much of trainings or anything of that sort. Today, with the influx of technology, you might have seen in a lot of places, jobs are going to vanish, jobs are going to change. Jobs might not vanish, but jobs might change. And when jobs change, the question is that would you be able to adapt? It is not the qualification alone that will matter. What will matter is your adaptability, something similar to what happened during evolution. So those who are able to survive that and adapt themselves, those are the people who will survive. So in this whole curriculum, that's what we want to do. This is not for everybody. And we are not saying also that, everybody is welcome. Just be very cognizant of the fact that this is a company that requires everything revolves around business. We require you to put in hard work. We have a 6-day work. If in return what you get is a solid foundation for a career. So if you are up for that, if you are willing to make that investment, more than welcome to take the test and to take through the entire process. We'll be happy to have you in there. So that's what we're talking about here. In 5 years from now, as a chartered accountant, you will have different roles that you will be put in. So it's difficult to say, because 2 years back, we didn't know what would happen in 2020, right? In 2019, nobody knew what would happen in 2020. So again, I'm not talking about where will you see yourself 5 years from now. The goal that I have in this GFL program is that how can I make you adaptable so that you can survive in any environment. Adesh, few more questions. What would be the chance of working from home in future? We don't have work from home now. We don't have work from home in future as well. So in Wipro Enterprises, we work from office, just to be clear about that. Can we choose the functional area in which we want to work? No, you won't be able to choose the functional area where you'll be working. We allocate you into the department because the name is one thing, and what happens inside the department is different. So we know how to put you up for success. So you as an outsider who would be coming in, you would not know what goes on in what department. So we would have a better idea that in this particular department, a person of this of this particular person would fit better. So that's why we would do the choosing for you. But again, as I said, if you think of it from a long-term career and you want to make a career in tax, let's say, or in treasury or something, depending upon the efforts that you put in, I don't think that you see any glass ceilings or something that will prevent you from, nobody will prevent you from going and taking up that role. So in a long term, yes. In a short term, no.
One question is, will they be paid during the 2 years of the GFL program?
Yes, absolutely. This is a full-time employment. So I had shown it in the slide also. The compensation is 10 lakhs per annum and including 10% of variable pay. So this is not a learning program, or it's a learning program where you also earn and you are a full-time employee as well. So again, just to be clear, you come in from the campus, we hire you, we put you into different departments, as I showed you: treasury, tax, controllership, internal audit, and business finance and projects. You will be working there full-time. Apart from that, what we do also is that provide you an unparalleled learning platform. That is what this program is about. So you are an employee, you will be earning, at the same time you'll be learning as well. No, it is not fixed at 10 lakhs for 2 years. We have a merit salary increment that is done, and that is done based on 2 or 3 aspects. One is based on the business conditions and how the company has performed. Based on that, you will get a merit salary increment. So it is not a fixed salary that goes on for 2 years or 3 years or 4 years or whatever. See, I think when you come into the program, it is an investment that you make. I hope you would have learned about something called discounted cash flow analysis. Careers work in that same manner. The first year cash flow has to be negative, because without putting in any money, you can't get a cash flow in future. So initially you have to invest in terms of effort and all that, and more so because of the fact that it's so unpredictable. The future it's never been like that. And as I said, we focus on making you more adaptable for the future.
Naren, they want to know the link for interview as well as the test.
The test link, the test link will be sent automatically. We have a tool which will be sending you the test link. We will send you probably 18th early morning. 10:30 is the session, is the test. Before that itself, we will send you maybe 8:30 or 9 o'clock or something of that sort. All you need to do is just have your browser ready and your webcam and microphone should be working. So you should be able to log in and take the test. And so that the tool requires that. But we will be sending the test. So first you have to register, and then we will be sending you the link for the examination. So don't worry about the examination link. Just ensure that you are not unsubscribed, or you've not blocked Aon as spam. So we will send, so all those who have applied, we will send an email, a detailed email by tomorrow, maybe close of business or something like that. We will send a detailed email saying what all you need to be prepared with. All the steps for the examination would be given there. Yeah, Ashi, you will get a link shortly, so you will get it by tomorrow. So registration, you would have got an auto mailer saying that you have successfully registered, I hope. So there's no registration for the interview. There's no parachuting into the interview process. So you have to go through the written test and then GD and then go to the interview. So, and that if you have any problems reaching out, just reach out to us at well.gfl@wipro.com and you'll be able to, we'll be sharing with you the details later. The expected date of joining would be, once we complete the interview, we would want to move fast and complete the interviews, but we would give about 15 days for you to join once the offer is made. Typically, that's the timeline that we think of. The interview might be face-to-face, Shankar. Shankar Pandey has asked a question, is interview offline? The interview might be face-to-face. We have not decided upon it. It would be either face-to-face or on an online conference call like this. But the employment, your work will be in office, and it will be in, there's no work from home concept there. GD will be virtual. I have already spoken about that. Yes, Adesh has answered Shaili.
Akash wants to know if the GD is virtual, how will it happen?
So leave that to us. It is not going to be a free-for-all. The goal of a group discussion that we would want to conduct is not to see who can speak or shout the loudest. That is not who we are as a company as well. You won't be appreciated if you shout and scream in the organization. So the idea is, how do you structure your thoughts? So it will be done online, and there'll be somebody who will moderating the group discussion. And it will be slightly different from what you would have seen in other companies.
So Naren, I just want to take one question, like what is the expected number of hiring that we are targeting for? So based on my experience as a cohort in Wipro, I can simply say to each and every candidate, each and every fresher, that in Wipro, the numbers are secondary and the talent is primary. If you have the talent that Naren has explained in video, and Sachin has explained you that that is something that Wipro is looking for, then definitely you will be getting selected in Wipro or in Wipro Enterprises, as the case may be. So yeah.
So thanks, Avi. So, Vanchita, if we qualified CA by appearing for a single group, I'm not sure what you mean by that. I hope you've appeared for both groups. But if it's very clear in terms of what is the eligibility criteria there. So people have asked for the registration link. As you send it, I'll send it immediately after the session is over. The location, Rachit Sethi, the location is going to be Bangalore and across the locations wherever we have Wipro has its offices. Wipro Enterprises has its offices. So both branch and factories.
Lucky wants to know the last date to apply for the registration.
So we would be closing registrations by 17th evening at around 4:30 p.m. But if for any reason you are not able to apply or you have any problem, write to us at well.gfl and we'll try to accommodate as much as possible. 17th 4:50 p.m. is when we plan to close. That's because we have to send the email, the examination link to everybody. So that's the cutoff time for that. Ankit, the interviews rounds too difficult to crack? I don't think so. So we are, again, Ankit, you've passed one of the most difficult examinations in India, and it is not easy. So I know as an engineer, when I joined engineering college, I know that if I study so much, I'll pass. Unfortunately, for chartered accountants, that's not the case, and and you have passed that, and with that, this interview is not going to be great, as difficult as that, for sure. I can assure you that. What we are looking for is primarily that, do you have the aptitude and bent of mind to be successful in our company? Because think of it, you would want to be successful wherever you go, right? It's not just a job. And that is what we want to ensure, that when you come in here, you be successful, you have a very good experience, like the experience I have had, like the experience other people have had in the company, and that is what we would want to share with you. And that's why it's better that we identify the right matches rather than, so it's not coming and making a judgment whether you are good or bad. I hope that makes it clear, Ankit. But I wish you all the best, and I hope that you do well. No, Shankar Pandey has asked, do we have a preferable location? No, we don't. We expect flexibility from the people who join us. So there's no flexibility in location. Is there any evaluation process, or are we going to just learn 2 years of training? No, there will be an evaluation process. So when you solve the case study, you will be required to present it to a panel. And the panel are senior finance professionals who have themselves done mergers and acquisitions and experts in that area. So, it's not going to be an easy panel there also. So you would be evaluated as well, and the toppers will be rewarded if you top in, let's say, a batch or in the entire in particular module or in the batch, you will be rewarded accordingly. Ankit, please try conducting interviews virtually. Traveling to Bangalore just for the interviews can be quite troublesome. I understand that. Traveling within Bangalore is also quite troublesome. But we will come back to you on that, and we will give you time also for that in case that happens. I take the feedback from your side. Lucky, last day to apply, as I just said, 17th, 4:30 p.m. would be the last date. Whether the GD will be conducted on the same day as the test was conducted, no. We will have to evaluate the written test also, and after that we'll just send you the mailer saying whether you have qualified or not, and then for the GD round, and then we will let you know. So it will probably take a couple of days' time.
Wants to know whether the locations will shift or change during the program.
Yes, the locations can shift or change during the program. So if you join in Bangalore and you are rotated into a factory in Hyderabad or a branch in Hyderabad, you would need to work out of there. That's the whole point of the experience. You can't see. think of it, if I want to learn swimming and I say that I want to sit in my sofa and learn swimming, the location is a problem for me. I don't want to go to the pool, but can I learn swimming here? No, it doesn't work like that. You have to actually experience it, right? So you can play as much as you want on on NFS or Need for Speed or FIFA or anything like that. But playing the real game is very different from playing on in a virtual scenario. So that's why we believe that ours is a brick and mortar business. Unless you are in these locations, you wouldn't be able to learn anything. And we are really, really passionate about people that you learn and you get the maximum out of it. That's how we create leaders. And that's how we aim to create leaders also.
Shaili wants to know, in case someone's articleship clashes with the joining dates, how will it get managed?
We will manage that. So in case your articleship is not yet over, we will discuss that and come back to you at the easiest way to the earliest you can join us.
Shankar wants to know whether we provide accommodation.
I'll just have to ask Ishita. We will. I would just, if you are there on the call, if you can just pitch in an answer here. There's a question from one of the participants whether accommodation will be provided. So
accommodation will be provided for the which part? I missed you there.
So whether accommodation would be provided, I assume that after joining, when they come, when they join Wipro, will accommodation be provided?
So for the first few days, we do provide accommodation for a period of say 5 days. And then, it is upon the individuals to look out for a place if they are continuing in, say, for example, Bangalore for a longer time, just to give you an example. Then they have to figure out if it's a time period of say 2 to 3 months that they are going to be here, right? And thereafter they might move to different locations. It depends on that. So usually for a longer period of time they have to find their own accommodation, but the initial period we do provide for five days when they come in.
So thanks, Ashita. So Priyanka, do everyone registered get the online link? If you are if you are meeting the eligibility criteria, we would send the test link. So if you're meeting the eligibility criteria, so there's a ID called tax solution. So in case you would want to know more about the eligibility criteria, please write us a mail to well.gfl@wipro.com. You can see that in the chat window in the previous one, and we'll get back to you quickly. Pulkit, we would need a day's time, I think, day's time or day and a half's time to get back to you with the online result of the online assessment. Immediately, Pulkit, I see that you have mailed to the mentioned ID for the link. When would you get it? You'll get it immediately after this call. I'll just send it to you right away. Cohorts, for cohorts, you will need to write to finance.cohorts@wipro.com and they'll come back to you. But you can write to me on this ID also, and we can check on. I'll forward it to the right person in the cohorts team. Neha, I can assure you that fluent English is one thing and ability to express your thoughts are very different. They're two different things completely. They're not one and the same. While English is the mode of communication that we have, and that's the language that you will understand, that people understand within the company, because we are not just based out of Bangalore or India. We have a big business working out of Southeast Asia and other parts of Europe, North America, and South America as well. So, and including Africa and Middle East. So English is a requirement and a necessity, but we don't expect you to speak Queen's English. And the accent doesn't matter as much. No, it's your ability to express yourself clearly. That's what matters. Rest of the things we can take care of. Smita, are there any questions?
Naren, actually, one more person have asked whether if they have applied for cohorts, can they apply for the GFL? I think she has missed out on that.
Yes. So I'll just put it in the chat window so that those who are viewing this video later on also can see that. If you're applying for the cohorts program, you can also apply for the GFL program. And if you're applying for the GFL program, you can also apply for the cohorts program as well.
Hemant wants to know, before joining, is there any induction?
Before joining, so induction happens when you join. So when you join the organization, that is when you get inducted into the organization. At that time, there is an induction that's planned where you have the leaders coming and speaking to you and addressing you and giving you an idea about the company in more detail. Sridevi, I'm not sure I understood your question. So Sridevi Kona, so can you just drop a note again at well.gfl@wipro.com with your specific question? We can discuss that over email. Okay, there are too many questions coming on registration link.
So Naren, just let me just give me a second. So basically, the registration link is available in the description as well. You guys can check, like in the description of this YouTube session. There is one thing mentioned that to register, please click on the link below, and that is register.CAcubes.com/Wipro-2021, and you can go and you can access that. And on the criteria of the number of attempts. So basically, if your first attempt is due in May 2019. Your first attempt is due in May 2019, then you are eligible to write this online test. So just make sure that your first attempt is due in May 2019, your first CAfinal attempt. After that, if you have skipped, if you have not appeared, if you are appeared in only single group, it doesn't matter. Your first attempt should be due in May 2019, and that's a simple calculation. You all can do that. Continue.
So Shankar, the hotel costs around 2,000 to 2,500 per day. You have a lot of options and PG as well. So let us not discuss that right now, but I'll tell you how we work on that. Once you are selected and you are, you've made an offer, what we will do is that we will assign a buddy to you. A buddy is somebody who's been a GFL or who is part of the GFL program right now, and that person can guide you because everybody. I mean, all of us have gone through. Okay, I agreed that I went through about 24 years back. This whole coming to Bangalore and staying and trying to figure out a place, and I know it's difficult. It's not easy. What you would have as a benefit here, which many of the others don't have, is that you will have a buddy who is also from somewhere not from Bangalore, and that person can help you. He or she can help you with the right places to look for, and also give you a lot more details where you can stay and so on. So having a buddy really helps. That's the idea that we wanted to put in here. Ankit, if there's a remote possibility if you join both, I would. It's completely up to you. This is something that you have to think through and then decide. So I would say that take a step back, look at what is it that excites you, what is it that interests you. The good thing about both these programs are that both these companies that we're talking about, Wipro Limited and Wipro Enterprises Limited, they share a common DNA and a very strong sense of values that are there. So that's a good part of it. I know it adds to your dilemma, but then the businesses are very different. So you have to make the choice. It is not right for us to make a choice there. So I guess there are no further questions on the chat window. So in case there are questions, please do drop a mail to us, and preferably with the subject line question, so that we can answer each of these things quickly, and we'll get back to you. So I would like to thank okay, so Pulkit, if you have dropped me an email at well.gfl.wipro.com, I'll send you the details right away, and you can go and click on the link and register yourself. It should be working for you. Ankul, I'll have to come back to you on the point of joining bonus or a one-time bonus that is given to rank holders. I'll just need to check and come back to you. I'm sorry I don't have that information right now with me. Okay, thank you, and I wish you all the best for your future careers. And I really hope to see some of you very soon. And all the best. Thank you for joining in today. I would like to thank Mittal Commerce Classes for organizing this pre-placement event for us and giving us a platform where we could talk about our company, our culture, our values, and give more details about the company and GFL program itself. It was a it was a good interactive session that we had, and if you have any questions, please do drop a note to me at well.gfl@wipro.com. So Priyanka, whatever you have as a question, let's not discuss on the chat. Drop a mail to me, Priyanka, on the email ID that I had just mentioned, well.gfl@wipro.com. Okay. Thank you. Signing off for now. Thanks, Ishita. Thanks, Sachin, for joining in. And thanks, Sujot. Thank you so much for sharing in your experiences and insight. And bye for now. And I'll see you soon, probably. Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye. Thank you, Naren.
Thank you, Naren. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Sachin. Thanks, Sujot. Thanks, Ishita. Bye-bye.